Hey guys, Nina here, and I'm here for another fanfiction video, and I'm going to be reading chapter 2 of An Eye for Love, and yeah, so let's get started. Jack's point of view. Flashback. I was sneaking around behind a house looking for my next meal. I came up to a window and opened it. I climbed in and found myself in a kitchen. I walked around the house trying to find the stairs. Finally, I found them and climbed up. Once I reached the top, I heard someone snoring like a bear. I followed the sound into a room where a man who looked to be in his mid-30s was sleeping. I walked over to him quickly once I was right next to him and pulled the covers down so the only thing standing between me and dinner is his skin and flesh. I used my claws to cut. I reached inside and grabbed an organ. I used my claws to cut it out and pull it out. "Hey, a kidney, my favorite," I said cheerfully in my head. I walked over to the window and opened it. I jumped out and landed perfectly on my feet. Once I've gotten my prize, I decided to go for seconds. I came up to a house that was a little bigger than the last one, and it had a balcony. I climbed up the pillars, then reached to the balcony and finally reached the top. A few feet was a glass door with a curtain in front of it, blocking my view of whatever was inside. I walked up to the door and turned the knob. Surprisingly, it wasn't locked. I opened the door slowly and go inside. Once inside, I looked around. Once I spotted a bed with someone laying in it. I walked over and was stopped by a smell. I lift my mask past my nose. I lift my mask past my nose and inhaled. Whatever this smell was, it was amazing. I soon realized the smell was coming from the figure in the bed. I grabbed the blanket and pulled down and completely froze the moment I saw her, a beautiful girl with a light tan skin and long black hair with blue highlights. She was gorgeous. She shifted in her sleep and made me panic. I let go of the blankets and hid behind the door and bolted out the door. I ran until I reached the woods. Once there, I started thinking about the girl on the bed. I started getting this warm feeling inside of me, and there was something thumping in my chest. I put my hand on my chest, and I soon realized it was my heart. I forgot I had a heart. All these things were happening to me because of that girl, that angel. I spent a few days watching until I finally learned her name. Forgot her name, oh no. Angela, I think? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Angela. Angela, and once I got a glimpse of her beautiful light green eyes. Every time I think of her, my heart would start racing. I need to know more about her life. I needed to know more about my angel. End of flashback. A scarf, glasses, and a pair of gloves helped me blend right in. I walked to Angela's school, and no one seemed to notice me. I go inside and tried to look for her. I found her in the lunchroom talking to another girl. I used this time to go to her locker. I opened her locker and left a present inside. I heard the bell ring and tried to find a place to hide. I hid around the corner for the rest of the day until school finally ended. I watched Angela go to her locker and open it. Her friend came over and she noticed the gift I had left for her. She opened the envelope and pulled out the necklace and letter I gave for her. A group of girls dressed like sluts and guys who I assumed were their boyfriends came up. The blonde girl snatched the necklace and letter out of Angela's hand. She tried to get them back, but one of the boys pushed her down. I clenched my fist and started walking over to them. I didn't know sluts could get jealous, I heard Angela yell. The same boy who pushed her, walked over and slapped her. Now I'm pissed. He raised his hand to do it again, but I ran over and grabbed his wrist. Who the hell? He started. Give it back, I said. Excuse me? The blonde girl said in an annoyed tone. Give it back, I replied. And if I don't, the guy said. I replied by squeezing his wrist. All I could hear were sounds of bones breaking and his screams. You bastard, you broke my wrist, he screamed. That's not the only thing I'm gonna break, I said before kicking him in the chest, breaking several ribs. In the end, I nearly broke every bone in his body, but his neck. The other two tried to fight me, but they ended up the same way, on the floor and in pain. The other two girls ran away, but the blonde one stayed and tried to take the necklace off the floor. I stomped on her hand, breaking it and making her scream. Let go, I ordered. She did what I said and let go of the necklace. I removed my foot and grabbed the piece of jewelry. I turned to Angela, who was sitting on the floor against the lockers, and her left cheek was red and a bit sore. I gently placed my hand on her cheek. She hissed a little from the pain. I put my scarf down and replaced my hand with my lips. I then put my lips to her ear and whispered, I will never let anyone hurt you. I said, I put the necklace in her hand and recovered my face. Jack? She asked. I sprinted down the hall and out the building. I wanted to reveal myself to her, but I just wanted to do it somewhere a little more private. Angela's point of view. It was about 7:30 and my mom was making dinner. I was in my room watching videos on YouTube. I heard a knock on my door. Come in, I said. I see the door open and my mom walked in. Yeah, Mom? I asked. I got a call from school. 3 boys and a girl sent to the hospital today. One of them in serious condition. And you've been suspended, she said. Suspended? Why? I didn't do anything. The girl and the 2 boys said you were there and that you knew who attacked them. But they hit me first. I didn't know who the guy was. I believe you, sweetie, but why didn't you tell me when you first got home? I don't know, I said, looking away. Angela, she said, walking over to me and sitting on my bed. Is there someone that you're not telling me about and your father? Is there something you're not telling me and your father? Is it a secret boyfriend? No, it's a secret admirer. What's his name? Jack. Was he the one that attacked the other kids? I think so. Am I in trouble? No, sweetheart, she said, kissing my head. I'm just worried about you. You know I had a secret admirer when I was your age. And you know who it turned out to be? Who? Your father. That's how we met. She got up and walked over to the door. Dinner's ready if you're hungry. Your father and I will be back soon. Where are you going? I asked. We're going to your school to have a word with the principal. I don't like the fact that my daughter is being punished for something she didn't do. She left me alone in the room. Time skip. After dinner, I walked back up to my room and noticed the balcony door was open. Walked over and closed it. Then I started getting this feeling I was being watched. I turn around and see a boy wearing a black hoodie, jeans, gym shorts, and a blue mask, but he had no eyes, just big empty sockets with a black ooze dripping from them. I then remembered him from an article I read. Eyeless Jack. I was about to scream when he rushed over and covered my mouth. Shh, he said. I was scared out of my mind. My cheeks started to hurt again. He must have noticed me whimper from the pain. He used his other hand to lift his mask past his lips, and I could see his really, really dark skin. He placed his lips against my cheek, and my eyes widened in realization. He moved his hand from my mouth, then pulled away and smiled at me. Jack? I asked. My angel, he replied. He picked me up bridal style and walked over to the bed. He sat down and sat me on his lap. Angela, I know I'm not what you expected me, but please understand, I really do love you. I would do anything for you, he said, softly. I know, you proved that today, I said. I was still a little scared, but not as much as before. I looked at him and smiled. He smiled back. I reached for his mask and grabbed it. Wait, he said. He pulled down his hood and revealing his dark brown hair. I pulled his mask off, set it on the bed. I then looked at his face. I knew they say eyes are the window to the soul, but what if a person has no eyes? I soon found myself leaning in closer until our lips were only inches apart. I finally closed the gap between us and pressed my lips against his. Soon he started to put more passion into it. I soon found myself on my back, him on top. I was blushing like there was no tomorrow. We broke away for air. He rolled over and laid next to me, holding me in his arms. I love you, Angela, he said. I love you too, I replied. So that is chapter 2 of An Eye for Love. Yeah, An Eye for Love. For a minute I was thinking it was An Eye for Romance, no. But yeah, that was chapter 2. And I will be uploading chapter 3 in 2 days. And then maybe I'll get a lemon up tomorrow since I read just about every single creepypasta lemon on this site. So yeah. Bye guys.